introduce a little bit some new things about the touchscreens and the Envisions. And as you know, this is one of the most common device that we are selling because it integrates server and UI in the same device. Now we improved even more the responsiveness of the system, so it's a bit more fast. And also we did some addition on the finishing of the devices. We added some new things on the covers, new finishing. Also we are going to release a new version with the CO2 sensor, because now we have temperature and humidity sensor inside, but we are going to add also the CO2 sensors. And yeah, as you know, the system has, let's say, a lot of features and a lot of customization possibilities, and in the Envision you can see all of them. This is just an example of a UI, and in the UI you can add so many functionality, and you can customize every single aspect of the UI and of the journey inside the UI. And it's very easy and convenient for the end user and for the system integrator.
Can you show them the timing functions on the UI for the customer?
Yeah, sure. Here it is disabled, as you can see, so it's something that you can enable or disable depending on the priorities and or the authorities. And here it is enabled, and you can simply, as an end user, you can add a schedule. Sorry for the Italian here, but you can give any name that you want. You can decide if you want to create a simplified scheduling or an advanced one. When you want to create a simplified schedule, you just set the hour and the minute when you want to launch it, set the day of the week then you want to launch it, and it is created. Now it is in demo mode, so we cannot really go into inside, but it is really easy for the end user to create and to add actions to this schedule.
And that schedule can be dependent on time of sunrise, sunset.
Yeah. When you create the schedule, you can also decide to link in the advanced mode. Instead of setting a time, you can decide that the trigger, instead of being a time, it is an event. So you can say sunshine or sunset, and you can decide if you want to do some minutes before or later, delayed or earlier than the event. So it's very easy for the end user to customize the system when it is on their own house.
And I know this is a simple question, Luca, but that UI, that functionality is available on the screens as well as the client apps?
Whatever you see in the screen, it is 100% the same on the mobile. Either it is iOS or Android, and the app is let's say done in a way that when you use it as in a portrait mode, you see all these things arranged in a list that is much more convenient to use. But when you rotate, it automatically reverts to the map.
That's really nice.
So whenever you want to use as a map, you can use like this. If you want to use as a list in the portrait mode, when you are, let's say, acquainted, then you
quick
know
access.
what. Yeah, it's very fast.
Yeah.
So and yeah, the nice thing is that all the graphics that you see and all the things that you see are not web-based. So it is a native app for all the platform. Means that it is very fast when you open the application, because it doesn't have to download anything.
Yeah.
That's a great advantage in respect to other competitors, because usually they have graphics as a web server, and it takes a lot of time
rendering.
to open, to render, and so on.
So it's its own instance running on the iPad or the
device of the customer,
and talking directly at that, which means really instantaneous kind of control.
Very fast.
Instead of going past the server and back out.
Yeah. So that's a great advantage.
So just quickly on the wrap up of this, we've got, like, say 4 versions of these screens. You've got the screens with the client on the front and the server on the back, and the server can go to other clients as well, or you've got just the client version which can connect to a server.
Correct.
And just without jumping ahead, we're going to have a look at your other options where it's just in-rail mounted or desk mount servers that are by themselves as well.
Yes. So till now we talked about the Pro line. This is instead the Trendline. ProLine is a fully fledged system, and you can do whatever you want, let's say. And the Trendline is instead a line of product that is a little bit more cost effective, and it's intended for application where you have a little bit more constrained budget, but still it gives you a lot of features and a lot of possibilities. We have 3 products on this line at the moment. It is the little one. It is called Piccolo. It is a 4-inch screen that can be customized with a frame in different color and finishing in aluminium, or it can be like this without any frame. It's a little bit thinner, but you don't have. It's just black finishing. And this device comes with Ethernet connection, KNX TP on the back, and all these devices have a temperature and humidity probe, means they can be used as a normal thermostat. All these devices can be used as a standalone devices, like to replace a normal keypad, but they can be also client of the ProLine devices, or even server themselves. So the K and K2, they can be servers. They can be used with the application. So it means that you can have one K2 in your apartment, let's say, and control your house from remote directly with this device.
So you can. Is it a programming interface for the Trendline?
Also, it is.
Wow.
It is all the interface. It's done with the configurator. You don't need to use ATS.
Yep.
And also the device has KNX and can be used as KNX interface for programming KNX.
So we've got a touchscreen and a server that is giving a customer full graphical user interface, remote access, but it's not relying on the network in case the network goes down. It's directly on the KNX bus.
Correct.
And it's an affordable solution, right? So it's a reduced offering. That's
reduce
really
cost and reduce, let's say, commissioning time, because it's easier to do.
Yep.
And at the same time, you have a lot of. It's very versatile, because, for instance, this little device that can be a client of the big one, you can use as like room controller, or in apartment as a specific device for the apartment. So
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think what happens is people end up buying an IP interface, they buy a logic module, they need some touchscreen and they need timers and that, and you're offering that plus so much more within this Trendline series. Yeah, it's really good.
And also nice features of this system is that they can be used to watch camera as an internal door station and intercom. So if you use that things as a room controller, you can call one room from the other room and talk like a normal intercom, or even you can do paging. That is also a nice thing. So you can call all the room and talk with all the rooms all together. It is, I mean, if you consider all the functionality and the stuff that you need to buy to reach this functionality, the
cost is crazy.
Yes,
it's really beneficial there. And it's good to see that you've got a few different options here on different sizes and looks as well, you know. I think that's really important for people. You've really captured those right good sizes. Like, that's a really good size for the IP camera, and any smaller would be no good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good compromise, and it's not much bigger than a normal switch, but you have a lot more functionality, and it's I think it can be, let's say, fitted in many different design normal switches. Can be, let's say.
And I'm just looking here, these screens have all got temperature and humidity on it, which we're seeing so much more use for these days, and especially in Australia with our air conditioning control, we're very reliant, or people should be more reliant than they are, on not just temperature but humidity.
Yeah, that is really important. Also here in Europe it's become really important to have humidity sensor, because they are doing cooling as well, and even floor cooling, so it's mandatory to have in that case. These are servers that usually you use it when you don't need really a touch screen, or you want to have multiple screens with any different size or feeling. Even you can use any kind of tablet, Android device, whatever. It is very common that in some installation you have our server, like one of these device, and then you expand the UI, or you use the UI just on the phone or in any tablet or even on the PC. So for instance, in offices, it's very common that they have this kind of installation, and each PC, each office has its own UI for its own station based on our player. We have mainly 3 devices, 3 different size of device. The micro is the most common one. All the devices come with ThinKNX connection on board and several other IOs. The micro is the one that has, let's say, used in medium to small plant, and then we have the compact that is more powerful than the micro, and it has a little screen that permits to do some debugging already from the device itself without connecting with the PC. But for more, it has many IOs that permits connection with third-party system like Modbus, like serial ports for alarm system, fire alarm systems, many other devices that you want to connect. It has also analog inputs and digital inputs, and as well as some relays. So let's say it is a little I/O and server integrated in one device. Then we have the rack. Here it is just a picture here, but it is a rack mounting device. It is the most powerful one. On the back it has even expandable ports, so you can use this device when you have big buildings and you have you can expand it to integrate whatever you want actually, because of the hardware of the machine itself, let's say.
Yeah, I think what's important here as well is, you've got all these I/O ports, but you've developed all these functional things like databases and reporting logic, cloud storage, multi-user, multiple language.
I mean, the system is not UI only.
Correct.
The powerful of the system is all the things that are on the background. So we have logic, we have database, we have ThinKNX log, many things that are useful in everyday life and installation. And usually you need to buy additional equipment to have this functionality. Here it's all integrated. Here we are just showing some application of ThinKNX in a building environment when you have several apartments and you want to share, for instance, services like doorcom or other services like CCTV, access control and so on. Usually nowadays what you do is one common infrastructure network for the building, and then you have the problem that each apartment will have its own infrastructure, its own internal network, and usually you don't have even internet access at the beginning when you build up the building. That's something that will cause some problems. Especially there are some security concerns, because if you have a common network and you need to connect each apartment, you need to prevent that from one apartment you can go to another and so on. And
then you need multi-layer switches in the apartment and all kinds of things.
Let's say what we did, it's a specific device that will split each, will prevent access from one apartment to another, and will give the authority just to the touch screen to get information from the local network. It's already configured, so it doesn't, as a system integrator, you don't need to know all the details about network, but still it permits all these things to work. And the apartment can be equipped with Envision or with a Trendline device, and you can do the commissioning already when there is no broadband in the apartment, but the system will be ready in a way that when the internet connection will arrive, the guest will have immediately the application without reconfiguring or doing some setting on the system. That is also really convenient, because as a system integrator you don't want to go again
back and hand it over
every time. This is another application of the ThinKNX, more in the hospitality field. Here we are showing what we can do in that field. Mainly, if the building is equipped with automation, we can now cover all the aspects, because also we integrated BACnet and we have all the buses. So We can create a user interface for the reception and for the maintainer in order to have all the information at a glance, and they can monitor the status of the sensor, the status of the devices inside the room. They can get alert if something is broken, many different things that they can get from the building automation itself. Then, thanks to the versatility, the new products, you can use Piccolo device in many different functions. We was asked from, let's say, little hotels to have external door station, external door plate for in the corridor to be done with screens like that, because in this way they can customize logo, they can do every, let's say, special occasion, whatever, they can change everything. And it is very convenient because you can have the ring button, you can have the sign for do not disturb and make up the room already in the plate. And also it's nice when you want to integrate with the access control system and with the control of the room. So for instance, here you can have a little keypad to enter into the room, or even you can show a QR code for the guest to pair with their own phone and control the room. So let's say when also the room is automated, that is very convenient. So the guest can reach the door, pair the phone, and have the full control of the room. That is, for instance, equipped with another device from us.
That's lovely.
Yeah, I mean.
And then they don't need to be connected to the network as long as they're connected to the internet. That'll still work.
Of course it works locally with the Wi-Fi of the hotel. You can decide how you want to give the possibility to the end user to control the room. And also this thing is very powerful because since it comes with the KNX IP interface, you can also imagine that if you want to keep each room separated in terms of KNX bus, you can use it as a router, KNX router. So you can have each room with its own power supply, actuator, and so on, in order to have, let's say,
still overall arching control of the room.
Yeah, and you will have both backbone on the IP. But
point of sale interaction.
Every room will be independent, and so if power supply will fail, you will just have that room that will not work.
That's really good.
That's quite good, and you can have multiple things. Here it is an example of a journey of a guest inside, let's say, a structure that is equipped with this system. Since we integrated the FIAS protocol, that is a protocol for PMS. We can get all the information about the guest. So we send an email to the guest with the QR code for pairing with the room. They can download the app and they can
set the room before they get there.
See what they will have. Then when they get checked in, they will have the app enabled and they will actually control the room until they will be checked out. Still, they can have the app on the phone, and the hotel management can send push notification, for instance, for.
Excellent.
We launched already from a couple of years VI access control system. It is a KNX-based access control system that is integrated completely inside the supervision system. And here we are taking advantage of any possible keypad that you have in KNX. From any manufacturer, you can just replace the icons of the lamp with some numbers, and that they can be used as a normal access control system. So what it happens inside our system, you can create some roles, some rooms, some areas, and so on, some let's say rules. Then you can easily create codes for users. And for instance, let's say tomorrow will come in the office some new employee. I can create here the code. I can choose the role of this for this guy. If it is, this will decide which room he can access and which rights he does have. I can set an interval, validity interval, for instance, for 1 month and so on. Then the system will give me a PIN code. Whenever I confirm, this PIN code is already available and will function on all the areas that the guy has the right to. So if I now digit the code, for instance, 2, 1, 4. I don't know what they did. Too many demos and they messed up something. But automatically the system will take account to spread the code to all the keypad, and so you will have a possibility to manage it very easily. And you can use ThinKNX keypad, vegan reader and keypad, so means that also the cards can do the job, or also the keypad in our supervision system or in the Piccolo system. Okay, this is a new widget that we added to the system. It is not just a graphical widget, but really a logical engine that is working in the UI and then in the server. You can simply drag and drop this widget and link with it all the information that are available on the system, mainly meters, power consumptions, and integration with solar panel inverters. And it will show all the information in a simplified way. You can get the real-time data or the statistics about that, and you can go inside each section and have a more detailed, let's say, information about what it was produced, historical data, and all these kind of things. For more, let's say logical engine on the back can take control of the loads, so it can automatically switch loads in case of you don't have enough power, or in case you have more power than the ones that you are consuming. So for instance, if your solar panel are producing, you can automatically turn on some devices to get advantage as much as possible of the produced energy. And the priority of the load can be managed very easily by the end user, either for load shedding or for these features of, let's say, using as much as possible energy from the solar. It is integrated also with the electrical vehicles, so I mean, it can take account of the energy at 360 degrees. That's the main idea. Okay, here we, let's say, are explaining a little bit what we can do with for the electrical vehicles control and charging station. We can directly integrate with many different brands of chargers, thanks to OCPP integration, that is an open protocol for charging station, or we can integrate with specific brands thanks to some integration of specific protocols. For more, if you have an electrical charging station that are not, let's say, integrated, you can use normal meters from ThinKNX or from Modbus, and we can monitor the power and energy flowing to the station in order to detect all the events like start of charging, end of charging, and so on.
Priority.
Right. Yeah, all these things are, let's say, managed by the system itself, especially when you have many different charging stations in the same place. Usually what it happens is that you have a certain limit on the available power, and you want to, let's say, give some limits to each charging station. And in the same time, you can maybe want to have some priorities, some, let's say, different tariff and so on. All these things can be managed by the system in order.
And the other thing you got is things like profiles for cars. So this car has to be charged by then. This one has be charged at a different time so that you're offsetting your peaks.
You can also do this, but usually in the condominium what they want now is that if I arrive at my home and I don't have a specific, my specific parking, I can park wherever I want, but still with my code I will enable the charging station, and all the energy that I consume will be accounted to my, let's say, bill. Let's say. So the system will take account of that, and it generates automatically the bill for the energy consumed.
Okay, wow.
And for more, if you integrate with the parking sensor, the system itself can take account of the time that you stayed parked even not charging, as a sort of penalty, because you are
using a spot where someone could be charging.
So everything is already inside, all the algorithms are already inside. But in the same time, you can use any kind of sensor, any kind of electrical charge, and so on, because of this is the philosophy of the system. Here we are showing a little bit what we can integrate and several systems that we have inside. Many of them are already established integration. Now we are working with BACnet, that is new for us, and we integrated with BACnet IP and BACnet serial. So from our configurator you can browse the full BACnet device that are on the network, and you can decide to get all the data points and you can use on the UI, or you can convert into KNX or any other protocol that is integrated. We are working also to get into ZigBee devices, so to have an additional option for wireless device. And I think it's going to be potential, especially when you have installation where you have very tight with budget, because usually these devices are really cheap. So, and useful because, of course, sometimes you cannot wire everything. Yep. So that is also very important.
The other thing I think is important too, which I think is taking a while to come on, but it's super powerful, and a lot of the commercial jobs are asking for it, that's the MQTT.
Yeah, MQTT is now completely inside. The system has an internal broker for MQTT. Plus, you can subscribe to any topics as a subscriber or as a reader, as a publisher.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can get the data, and we call it virtual input or virtual output. So you can get the data from MQTT and convert to any other protocol and use in the UI. And yeah, of course it is now everywhere, this MQTT, and as IoT it was mandatory to put inside. And here we are showing also the application where the Piccolo is used with Doorcom. Yeah, it is very easy to understand how it can be used.
And I think if we just have a quick look here, you can just see some of the versatility and the real power of it. Most of your major automation brands are represented here. We've got everything from HomeKit to Shelly to Velux to Hue. So very comprehensive there. And as we make our way through, you see some really big brand names. And I think this is just a really elegantly presented solution that answers a lot of different questions, and that's always a challenge, to make something that can do a lot, not overly complicated.
Yeah, that is